Hi, this is Vicki from Learning Home Volunteers, and welcome back to our Elephant and Piggie session. So tell me, how is your ice cream stand doing? Are you making any money? Are you selling more ice cream or more popsicles? Well, let's get started on this week's activities. This is activity number 5. We thought we'd do a little painting in this session. This is marble painting, and before we even get started, I want to remind you that marbles are a choking hazard. If you have small ones that are still putting things in their mouth, feel free to use a small ball instead of a marble. It'll work just fine. For this activity, you're going to need your paint, the cookie sheet that we used in the last learning session for bubble painting, and the paper from your bag with the marbles. To start, you want to put your piece of paper on the cooking sheet. And there's really kind of two techniques I've seen for the painting. One is to put like blobs of paint on the paper using a spoon. And the other is to cover the marble with paint by dipping it into the paint using a spoon and then adding the marble onto the paper and tilting it and moving the pan to get the marble thing. Oh my God, we got such really good, fun, different results. I think my favorites are actually with the single color, like the red one. It's like watching something attached to a tracking device. You get to see every place the marble went. It is just so much fun. I hope your child enjoys it. And we can hope that you'll post up some pictures of their paintings that they made. You know, with that whole waiting book, having to wait for the sun to go down to actually see the stars, it made me think that, might be fun to watch the passage of time through the sun. So, this is activity number 6, a bunch of sunlight games. I don't think I really realized that the sun moved during the day for a long time. I knew that it was light in the morning and dark when I went to bed, but not much more than that. I don't think I ever thought about it. But one of the things I did find fascinating when I was young was that I actually had a shadow, someone that went with me everywhere I went. And it was looking through the shadows that I began to see that I moved or the sun moved because my shadow was in different places. So, our first game that we're going to play needs to be played on a day that's actually sunny. And in your box, you're going to find a bag numbered 6 with a piece of chalk. So, what you want to do is to make a mark on the sidewalk, an X, and then trace their shadow at different times during the day. So, you want to visit more than once or twice a day, maybe about every 2 hours. And then each time you want to trace their shadow. Or you could stand and they could trace yours. But once you've collected all of your readings, what you'll see is the size differences of the shadow and then the movement of the shadow over time. Kind of cool. So, what else can you do with the chalk? Well, I kind of like the idea of leaving a little of what we are everywhere we go. And with these great shadow outlines, it seems like they should be decorated. And you can do this by creating recycled paint out of chalk. And to make chalk paint, you need chalk and cornstarch. Now, this paint is totally washable, so when you're tired of looking at it on the thing, you just hose it off. So to make chalk paint, we need to make chalk dust. And our first step is to take your old chalk, separate it by color, and then put them each in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer overnight. And then you want to take it out of the Ziploc bag, out of the freezer, keep it in the Ziploc bags, and use a rolling pin to actually crust it into dust. And the dust should be really fine. Now that you have your chalk dust, we're actually ready to make chalk paint. And the easiest way to do this is actually in a muffin tin. You want to fill each of the tins with a solution of half water, half cornstarch, and then for each colored dust, mix it in with that mixture, and you'll end up with paint, and you're ready to paint. I love how this little girl filled in her outline with a chalk paint and how delightfully bright and fun it is. We can't wait to see how your chalk paint looks on the pavement, so please post pictures. This is activity number 7, sun prints. We're going to use the sun to actually create prints of objects that we put on a construction paper. The construction paper that you got in your teacher's kit works fine, but we've also included a piece in case you've gone through all of yours. The first step is to choose things that have a really great outline. And because our prints are not really going to be very detailed like a picture, a photograph, but simply just capture the shape of the object. We used coins in ours. I arranged coins in, well, you could see in this thing, and then put it outside for the sun to do its job. This activity needs to be done on a very sunny day, and it takes time for the image to actually appear. And actually, really, what's happening is it's fading the construction paper around it, but your object is keeping everything from underneath it from actually fading. So this is what mine looked like. Um, it's just, the dots that where they were, which was kind of cool, and it created kind of a nice design. And here are some other examples that other people have done. You can see the things that work best are going to be things with very strong outlines. Kind of cool, huh? Well, that's all for this week. I'll see you next week on our last week of Elephant and Piggie.